What is up, guys, and welcome to F123 Mobile Racing. It's time to start this new series here on the channel, and I hope you guys are excited. We did recently get the new update, then the 2023 season update, and there was a lot of hype for this one. I'm very excited to start this new series, but let's begin then, and we do have to select our team then for Season 1 here. And the first one is between Williams and AlphaTauri, and as you can clearly see, the AlphaTauri is probably the worst car on the grid, and it actually is the worst car, so that's not ideal. But I think for this season, remember last season we did start with Williams, but this time, let's start with AlphaTauri. It's time to start a new chapter then, and we might as well start with a different team. Nick De Vries is going to be our teammate then for this new season. And you can already see that our car has already been leveled up to level 5, which was, of course, upgraded from last year. And sadly, we don't have any more tokens then to really spend to try and upgrade that. 54,000 is too much if you ask me. But you can see 4 tracks then: Imola, Barcelona, Montreal. Wait, did I get that wrong? I probably got that wrong. Whatever. Sorry, anyways, Imola, Barcelona, Montreal, and then we finish in Spielberg. Those are our 4 tracks in first year. As you can see, Stroll, Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, and I think that's Alonso in the 10th place, maybe, potentially, I don't know. Then. Anyways, as we get ready to start our first lap then of this new F123 Mobile Racing Series here, as we make our way down towards turn 1. Nothing much changing then, I don't think, track-wise. I think we do have Qatar and Las Vegas potentially coming into this game. I don't know if it was available at launch, but graphics-wise, I think most of the tracks are pretty similar, just a couple of advertising changes then. Anyways then, let's just talk about a bit of this game so far. So, as we push the 21.960 for that first sector then, I just want to say, in this car, my helmet looks massive. I mean, you can clearly see that right there. It looks like a ginormous, big, fat balloon in here. But anyways, then making our way through the fast left-hander here, then excellent clipping those inside 2 curves. Don't want to hit those as they can slow down the car here as we make our way into the double right-hander here. And one thing I did definitely notice driving this AlphaTauri, and I think just driving the cars in general, is that the front end is a lot more responsive. And I do think that's in line then with the new F123 game, so which, by the way, that content will be coming out very soon. Don't worry about that. But in the F122, the game and the mobile racing as well, the cars, they generally felt very understeery, very cumbersome. They did not want to turn. And I can definitely tell that in this new game, this new update, it's a lot easier to take some of these corners flat out, and there feels a lot more grip. But at the same time, there is also this back end loss that's much more prominent in this game, particularly because there's a bit more, I guess, an oversteer bias as we do come across the line to finish our qualifying lap. Where's this going to put us then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix? We finish in P15. That's not a bad result, then, considering this is our first lap in the AlphaTauri, in between Bottas and Albon there. So let's hope we can make up some good positions in tomorrow's race here. De Vries though not having good qualifying, but let's check the grid then. It's Stroll, Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Norris, Ocon, Guan Yu, Piastri, Bottas, us, Albon, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Sargent, and De Vries finishing out the grid here as we go then for 5 red lights then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, the first one of many, and it's lights out, and away we go. We were held there for quite a bit of time there, and we don't get the grid insert as Albon jumps us off the line here, now covering off Magnussen and Hulkenberg as we make our way down towards turn 2 here. Yes, this is turn 2. Turn 1 is just a small kink to the left, and as we make our way into the chicane, we actually have a decent run through that corner here, and potentially a chance to go on the outside of Alex Albon here, now nip down the inside there of Valtteri Bottas, as well as Piastri and Joe are going side by side then into the next chicane. We make a bit of contact with Piastri there as he's going a bit slow through that section here. On the inside, not him, but also Joe as well, so 2 moves in 1 go as we make our way up into P12. Ocon there is in P11. Stroll still leads the way then in the much improved Aston Martin. Joe thinks about a move then on the inside. They're having a quick glimpse back to see where he's going to be put. We go almost flat out there. And again, like I said, it is much more responsive. You could never do that pretty much in F122 mobile racing unless you were just extremely precise and also the car was just extremely grippy to the ground here. And I do appreciate this change. I do like this change a lot. Another thing to note as well is that the slipstream, I think, has definitely been altered a lot. So now the slipstream mainly comes on around, I think, once you're up towards 4th to 5th gear. So it's a lot later than last year, because last year the slipstream would come on as early as 2nd gear, then, and you could pretty much finish off an overtake right before like the straight even started. Like you can see here, we are getting slipstream until now. If this is F122, we'd probably get a slipstream around 3rd or 4th gear then, and we would already been trying to pass Esteban Ocon. And I do think the slipstream strength has been changed ever so slightly though, so we just gotta make sure that if we are planning an attack, we gotta be staying close to the driver in front. Another thing I will note is that I think each car does have, I think, a very slightly unique engine sound. I am yet to try a couple other cars, so maybe this is just a simple, you know, maybe it's just different for each car with the different respective engines. Of course, AlphaTauri with Honda. As we try to make a move there on the outside of Esteban Ocon, there's a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there as we make our way towards the next left-hander here. Ocon just gets to drive off though. Though he is a bit tight then in his line. We're going to try to nick them on the inside. There's going to be side-by-side into the right-hander here. Who's going to be last in the lane? But as we go around the outside, there's a bit of contact there. And we make our way up into P11. And now we got Norris in P10. The McLaren doing pretty well up here. And we do have a chance to potentially get some points in our first race. Purple to the second sector. On the inside we go. It's a bit of a clumsy move there, to be fair. As I don't think Norris was really expecting us to dive bomb from got a car link behind it. As he's now trying to block off Ocon and Norris. You can see them going side by side, trying to see who's going to pass his first turn, but I think we'll be fine into the final 2 corners. Then on the inside, as Norris tried to do it, but I don't think he'll be able to do it there. You can see it's going almost flat out through there, and like I said, something you really could not do in the previous edition. And so, very happy to see this change. And a couple other changes to potentially note here is that with this new handling model, like I said, it is a little easier to snap the car around. In the last year's game, it was a lot easier to snap it, as we have Ocon trying to go on the inside here. We're going to have absolutely none of it and close the door on him as we make our way into the right hand towards the left hand of the hairpin. Then, like I said, last year's game, it was a lot easier to snap it in the rain, but even then, it was actually pretty well grounded. And that was one thing I did appreciate about the previous game, is that the cars, they were naturally, even though they were understeered, they were naturally grounded. As we go, whoa, way too wide there. Lose a lot of momentum, but I think Ocon is just far behind enough so that we are safe. But we're just going to defend just in case then into the right-hander, and we should be fine then for now. But in this game, if you do have a lot of front end, though, the rear end does like to snap a little bit then. So you do have to make sure that you try to counter that as you get on the power then, or you just try to throw the car into the high-speed corner, something you really can't do in these new cars, especially if you have a lot of grip on the front but not a lot in the back. As a car, I definitely have noticed, especially in the technical regulation car, that it just can easily do that there. As we go this time flat out through that corner, beautiful stuff then. And now we make our way across where Stroll is going to win the Grand Prix here. And then we're going to come across line though in P10 to pick up our first point then in this series, with plenty more to come. We come across the line, purple to the last second there. So Stroll wins ahead of Perez, Leclerc, Alonso, Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, and Gasly, and we round up the top 10. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode as we continue this series. Goodbye, everyone.